if you're heading out soon, so maybe a light jacket. You don't need the umbrella today. That's good news. More details on that weekend forecast too coming up.
Good morning. I'm loving this weather picture from Quinnell, who is from New Orleans. Look, we've got the sun shining, a beautiful rainbow, and there's Quinnell running to say, "Hi, Dad." Loving it. Hey, Quinnell, thanks to 1 Hour AC, you get this weather picture coloring book of the seasons of Louisiana. And I'll see you back here at 4, 5, 6, and 10.
Live, local, late breaking. This is WDSU News This Morning.
All right, live look outside. Doesn't look too pretty of a Thursday morning, but actually feels pretty nice out there if you like those cooler temperatures. If you want to get outside, maybe go for a run, have some lunch outside, could be a good day to do it.
Certainly so, and we are looking forward to even more cooler temperatures. Let's send it over to meteorologist Quaylen Murphy for what we can expect today. Good morning.
Good morning, Randy and Christina. Be not dismayed. We're starting off with cloud cover. There's the front pushing through, the one we were telling you about yesterday. It's taking its time pushing towards the coastline, so we still have some lingering moisture in the form of clouds, even some patchy fog out there. But we'll get rid of the clouds gradually through the morning, so by late morning into lunchtime, back to sunshine. 69 degrees at the airport, but we are cooler. It feels nice. 61 in Hammond, 64 in Homa, 69 in Buras, 69 degrees in Gulfport. This is the change, so back to some cooler flow. Now, we're still going to warm up this afternoon, but here's the frontal boundary. It's sort of stationary right now just south of the lake. It'll gradually push towards the coastline today. So a good morning for that first cup of coffee. We're still looking at clouds by 8 o'clock, and then by 10 we're breaking into some gradually clearing skies and some sunshine. This is lunchtime, 75 degrees this afternoon, upper 70s, close to 80 maybe along the coast because that's where the front will be last to depart. 71 degrees by 6, and then by 8 o'clock tonight, upper 60s. 8 made landfall this morning over Cedar Key, Florida. Florida around 3 o'clock. It's now inland, moving over northern Florida. So down to 45 miles per hour. It made landfall as a 50-mile-per-hour tropical storm. The center is here, and as has been the case with the system for the most part, most of the action on the east side. So that means it's beginning to push offshore around the Florida coast into the Atlantic waters. The system will continue offshore later on today. More on this and the rest of the tropics when I come back. Randy and Christina, back to you.
Well, while the skies aren't that clear, Gwaylen, the roads sure are. If you're traveling across I-10 near Chef Mentor Highway, this is a live look at your commute this morning. No accidents or breakdowns and a steady stream of headlights here traveling towards the CBD. Also no issues if you're traveling from Kenner through Metairie on the western half of the region. Bonnie Carey Spillway commute also reportedly clear. If you're taking the Causeway, you don't have to worry about any advisories or restrictions. And our West Bank traffic, no accidents or breakdowns as well.
All right, time now 6:31. There is a power struggle between Governor John Bel Edwards and state lawmakers, and now that is going to move to a Baton Rouge courtroom later on this morning.
So lawmakers claim that they can cancel the governor's coronavirus restrictions, and the governor disagrees. As Heath Allen shows us now, it may all be up to a judge to decide. Heath.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, this is the governor versus certain members of the legislature, and probably the state attorney general as well. You know, when the coronavirus came along, the pandemic came along, of course, the governor used his executive authority to deal with the emergencies as they came along. State lawmakers, primarily Republicans, challenged that absolute authority, even calling a special session and then hammering out a deal among themselves to give themselves the ability to cancel the governor's restrictions. It's a bill, of course, that the governor would veto if it came to his desk, and lawmakers simply don't have the votes to override the veto. So now it's on to 19th Judicial District Court in Baton Rouge. The majority of Democrats, of course, siding with the governor.
I think it's a very, very dangerous proposition. Rather be Republican, Democrat, John Bel Edwards, or any other governor. There's a reason why we have separations of powers. There's a reason we have an executive, legislative, and judicial branches of government. Each has its own separate, but equally as powerful branches.
But Republican Attorney General Jeff Landry points to a state statute that says the legislature, in consultation with the Public Health Authority, by a petition signed by a majority of surviving members of either house, may terminate a state public health emergency at any time. Both sides with substantial arguments. Both sides will present those arguments in 19th Judicial District Court in Baton Rouge just a little bit later on this morning. We'll see who wins that arm wrestling match. Guys, back to you.
All right, Heath Allen live for us this morning. Heath, thank you. Jefferson Parish Coroner Dr. Jerry Satanovich has COVID-19. The longtime doctor confirmed the news last night. He tells us he's been in quarantine since his diagnosis and only has mild symptoms. Dr. Satanovich also said he is following all CDC protocols.
Well, the virus continues to also impact events across the New Orleans area, and another carnival group is not going to roll this year. The Funky Uptown crew will not make its annual ride along the streetcar line this carnival season. The crew usually kicks off carnival along the Uptown streetcar line along 12th night, but some good news here. The group says there are still plans to hold a 12th night scavenger hunt along the Uptown parade route instead. Also, the running of the Santas, not going to happen either. It was set to take place December 12th, but because of the pandemic, it's not going to happen at all. Organizers say they hope to be back December 11th, 2021.
Well, another iconic restaurant is closing in New Orleans because of the impact from the pandemic. And so many of us, including myself, we're just really sad about this. Little Dizzy's Cafe in Tremaine, known for all of its good old food. It's fried chicken, gumbo, bread pudding, all of that. Sadly, it's now shutting down. The owner says his family came into the restaurant business in the 1940s. Dizzy's, though, opened in 2004. Since then, the owner said changes needed to operate due to COVID-19. It's taken a lot of time and a lot of money and actually forced him into retirement. Though he's getting a lot of calls from devoted customers who are so sad to see the restaurant close.
Most of them say, you've worked hard. They know that I worked hard in this place. And most of them say, we just appreciate that we had you doing this for that long, and enjoy the rest of your time.
Dizzy's owner says he hopes he can maybe sell the restaurant. He also says it does have enough outdoor space to follow social distancing guidelines.
Well, later on this morning, the city of New Orleans is set to address a new effort to support citywide resilience and economic recovery in the wake of these pandemic closures. It's being dubbed a historic investment. It's a joint effort between Mayor LaToya Cantrell, JP Morgan Chase, the New Orleans Business Alliance, and others who all say it's going to provide pathways to career opportunities for residents and also some contract opportunities for local small businesses that are in the water economy. So this announcement is set for 10 o'clock this morning. We'll make sure that you bring you the latest both on air and online.
At 6:36, many of you are preparing to travel for the holidays. And so in light of that, we wanted to give you a behind the scenes look at how Delta Airlines plans on keeping you and your family safe if you're flying out of MSY. So look at this. Some of the changes include a new check-in lobby with plexiglass shields, distance markers, as well as hand sanitizers. Departure gates will also have plexiglass shields and different boarding procedures, some of which will include distancing and then boarding in groups of 10. Delta also wanted to address some concerns many travelers have when it comes to flying right now.
I know many of the consumers out there are very concerned about the safety and the overall travel experience, and we're here to tell you that we are taking every measure possible to ensure that you feel that safety when you travel with your family, as you get back into business travel.
And customers and employees, everybody's going to be wearing a mask, and you'll also see several hand sanitizing stations.
6:37 now, and for many, paying rent is a struggle here in Louisiana. So we'll tell you how we rank compared to the rest of the country.
And giving you a live look outside on this Thursday. You're watching WDSU News This Morning. We'll be right back. Welcome back. UPS is looking to be more inclusive. Now those with the shipping company have a little bit more room to do their hair. however they want. The company is now allowing natural hairstyles for employees. Also, beards and mustaches, they were limited, and men couldn't have hair below the collar. No afros, no braids, dreads, nothing like that. All of that has now been eliminated, along with gender-specific regulations, including rules like the length of the uniform's shorts. Advocates say this addresses a broader problem of unconscious bias that the rules reflected.
Well, a new study shows that Americans are still struggling to make rent on time, and Louisianians are second in the nation when it comes to being the most behind on these payments, coming in at 28%. This is according to LendingTree. We're just behind Mississippi with 29% of renters. The study also shows nearly 43% of Louisiana renters aren't sure if they're going to make next month's payment. The study also found that renters in Louisiana owe a combined more than $156 million in back rent.
Well, here's something that may never look the same: business travel, and that's of course because of the pandemic. Video conferencing could put a permanent dent in corporate trips. That could all affect hotels, airlines, and other businesses that really rely on business travelers. Analysts say it took international business travel 5 years to bounce back after the 2008 recession. Corporate travel represents 21% of all travel spending across the world. That's according to the World Travel and Tourism Council.
Well, the FDA wants to shine a light on an ingredient that is apparently not mentioned enough on food labels: sesame. So the agency is recommending food manufacturers voluntarily list it, noting that many Americans are either allergic or just sensitive to the seed. The recommendation, not a requirement though. Current FDA regulations say that sesame must be put on the label if the whole seed is used, but it's not required if it's used as maybe a flavor or a spice blend.
Still to come this morning, the Big Easy getting into the Christmas spirit. We'll show you the decorations already getting hung up around New Orleans.
And now it's time for our baby of the day. This is Marquise Mason Thomas, born 8 pounds 1 ounce at Toro Birthing Center. He arrived early and looks just like mom, and was actually born on his great-great-grandma's birthday. So he's heading home in a green and gray outfit to his brother and sister, who are super excited about this new addition to their family. We want to say congratulations and just welcome to New Orleans. Now at 6:45, and states all across the country are seeing spikes in COVID-19, some even breaking records.
Yeah, Jared Hill is in Washington this morning with why some state leaders are now changing regulations before Thanksgiving.
Rain and Christina, Texas has recorded more than 1 million COVID-19 cases. California getting pretty close to that milestone as well. Some states are rolling back their reopening plans. In New York, restaurants, bars, gyms, they have to close at 10 p.m. starting tomorrow. Maryland is rolling back capacity rules in restaurants and bars too, going from 75 to 50%. Health experts are still urging people to continue to wear masks and say that they should be socially distanced. The hope of having a vaccine by the end of the year is promising, but experts are saying that this is still not a cure-all.
Vaccination is not going to be a fairy tale ending to the pandemic. We're still going to be dealing with it at least through most or all of 2021 and quite possibly beyond that.
With Thanksgiving just a couple of weeks away, the CDC is urging people to either keep those celebrations virtual or only have dinner with the people who live within your household. Reporting in Washington, Jared Hill for WDSU News.
Well, world leaders have spoken to President-elect Joe Biden about cooperating on the coronavirus pandemic, climate change, and other issues. Their conversations happened even as President Trump refused to concede, and that complicates the U.S. post-election transition. Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison said that he even invited Biden to Australia next year, while the Japanese Prime Minister said that he and Biden agreed to deepen their country's alliance in the face of China's growing influence and North Korea's nuclear threat.
Today is the deadline for TikTok to find new owners. Meantime, the social media company is petitioning the federal court to stop President Donald Trump's executive order. The president said TikTok is a national security concern, and he's demanding it be banned if it doesn't find new owners by today. TikTok says President Trump's order violates its due process rights. The app has more than 100 million users across the United States.
Well, a large trash fire continues to burn at a recycling plant in Houston as it began yesterday afternoon. The fire department issued a shelter-in-place alert as a precautionary measure. 25 units are responding to the fire, with a hazmat team also monitoring the air and water. Fortunately, no injuries, and the cause still not known right now.
Well, you remember those murder hornets? Well, the first nest was found in the United States and destroyed. These insects are the world's largest